Was it a good experience?
Yeah, you
shitting out my blood, shitting out my intestines. Yeah, it was fantastic. I freaked out. I looked down and the whole bowl was red, including my nuggets. Jesus Christ! I freaked the hell out. Oh God! Oh yeah, she put those goddamn lights in here.
You are welcome. Don't forget about the lovely smell.
That's right. You put bleach in the thing too, right?
No, there's smell on the little lights.
Oh, there's smell on the lights?
Well, on the pouch, it was like a little scent.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, on the pouch. Okay. We gotta go live now. Enough talking about my duty. All right, we are live. What is crack-a-lackin'? See, Axl Cones with you again. Tonight we got a very touchy subject, so let's stay chipper. All right. Robert Mateer's going to join us here in a second. But as usual, as I do every week, I went through the archives to see what I found this week. And our first stop is going to be cyberspace. Another nail in the world circling the imbecile drain coffin. I've seen numerous posts on social media sites that state, quote, "Stop saying Karen." Calling a woman Karen is an attempt to get rid of a woman's right to stand up for themselves. Karen is a sexist and racist term equivalent to the N-word for white women. What? If there are any women out there who actually believe this nonsense, you need to take the petrified stick out of your ass and get yourselves laid, okay? Karen is the N-word for white women. Alright, what the hell, I'll play along. I promise not to use the K-word, even though I have friends with the actual name K-word. I'll just start referring to females who are easily offended by every little thing as cunts. Is that better?
The K.
With a K, that's right. Headline Washington, D.C. We have breaking news. Donald Trump was asked yesterday about the possibility that NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick could be signed by a team before the start of the season.
Should a long time ago.
Trump responded with, quote,
sports and kneeling. Do you think Colin Kaepernick should get another shot in the NFL?
If he deserves it, he should. If he has the playing ability. He started off great, and then he didn't end up very great in terms of as a player. He was terrific in his rookie year. I think he was very good in his second year, and then something happened, so his playing wasn't up to snuff. The answer is absolutely I would. As far as kneeling, I would love to see him get another shot, but obviously he has to be able to play well. If he...
Wait, what? Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it Trump who said about the same Kaepernick when he knelt during the national anthem, quote?
I'd love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
My God, bisexual sex addicts don't want it both ways as much as this pumpkin head. Just because your black voters have abandoned you on the side of the road like a rotting deer carcass, don't start puckering up to them now. It's way too late. Headline Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Adam Bloom had to resign his HOA and lost his job at the packing plant after he sought out the only black woman, Yasmin Obleman, and her daughter at the community swimming pool. While passing by numerous white pool goers, he asked only the mother for her ID, and when she refused, called the police on her. Police showed up and then confirmed Yasmin's pool pass was valid.
Handled the situation differently if she were white?
No, I wouldn't have. If I in any way made her feel uncomfortable, unwanted, unwelcome, especially with her child there. I just want to offer my sincerest apology for that.
Can you understand why many people online are labeling you a racist?
When people see a couple seconds of your life and don't see it in total, I think they can jump to conclusions that aren't there.
My question, if Adam was volunteering at the neighborhood pool, doesn't he risk the chance of exposing his Confederate flag and David Duke back piece tattoos? That was me. Okay. Headline, back to Washington, D.C. Let me throw out a shocker. While on the campaign trail in 2016, Donald Trump got loose and let fly one of his many racist rants when he said, quote,
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
Well, come to think of it, when I stayed at Trump's hotel, the chambermaid did a rail off my junk, jacked my wallet, and cornholed me with a strap on. No wonder this genius won the 2016 election. He's got his finger on the pulse of the nation. I'm sorry I ever doubted you. Headline, Chicago, Illinois. Was it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Headline, Chicago, Illinois. Jesse Smollett, a black gay cast member from the popular Fox television series Empire, told police that two masked men had physically attacked him while shouting racist and homophobic slurs, along with, quote, "This is MAGA country," the pro-Donald Trump slogan. A month later, Smollett turned himself in as the court of public opinion was under the suspicion that he staged the entire incident. At the time, Chicago police said his accusations was a publicity stunt to increase his salary. Fast forward to early 2020, Smollett has been indicted by a special prosecutor in Illinois on 6 counts of lying to the police. Because of COVID-19, the Smollett case has fallen through the double jeopardy cracks. But with everyone sucking the teat of the Black Lives Matter movement, I'm sure this turd-tapping, attention-seeking, compulsive liar will get to skate with no repercussions in fear that a guilty verdict will end the Sears Tower being burnt to the ground. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm always going to give it to you straight. I'm not going to have my airhead press secretary pump smoke up your ass and pacify you with what you want to hear. I don't kiss the ass of whatever or whoever is trending at the moment. I will give praise when it's due, very rarely anymore, and when someone's a shithead, I will let you know that too. As I've gotten older, I've come to realize I don't pretend to know everything. One thing I am 100% crystal clear on is when somebody starts a sentence off with, "I'm not a racist, but," that's pretty much the international sign that the white sheets are about to be broken out, and you should probably also heil to the burning cross so you won't get jammed in the neck with an ice pick from a member of Hitler's youth. When the race card topic is brought up, everyone gets more squeamish than a vanilla germaphobe at a hippie bukkake party. I just wrote that line today. I was hoping that would go
I
well.
love bukkake references.
You can't get enough bukkake in this show. Something ironic to me about the hypocrisy involving the race card, as a culture, when we see someone set their beverage on a midget's head, everyone laughs. We've reached a point where we are so desensitized that if a woman gets called a stupid hoe slut while being led around naked by a dog collar, nobody blinks twice. Pound me too. If you call Bubbles sitting on Michael Jackson's stoop a porch monkey, people vapor lock and gasp for air like George Floyd kissing pavement. Too soon?
No, it's not.
Tonight, we get to see how I get shot. We get to discuss the race card. Forgive me, but I have to throw my 2 cents in here. My dog is going berserk up there. Did you like that joke, buddy? That was a good one, huh? The topic of racism is touchier than a blind John and a blind hooker meeting for the first time. The race card is being played more often in today's culture than the ace of spades. Whenever somebody says or does something remotely racist, even by accident, they become social pariah for everyone to dissect like a frog in biology class. Oh, how I long for the Archie Bunker George Jefferson days when people didn't take themselves so fucking serious. Remember the good old days when people used to laugh at jokes like, "Why do Mexicans eat beans for dinner? So they can have a hot tub in their bathroom." How do you stop a Polish tank invasion? You shoot the guys pushing the tanks. What's the most common thing said to a black man in a suit? "Will the defendant please rise?" Jokes like these today, spoken out loud nowadays, is a reason to throw down. Why? When did society's skin become thinner than Kate Moss's labia? When did the wussification of this culture happen? When did this happen? Consensus would probably yellow highlight the date March 3rd, 1991. That's the day Rodney King got curb stomped by a group of white Los Angeles police officers, in which after the acquittal sparked rioting in the streets. Now, I don't want to reset an event from almost 30 years ago, where both parties were to blame to help kickstart the downfall of this nation. But let's take a moment to review, in case we forgot. Rodney Glenn King III, a brain-dead, single-digit IQ career criminal who was hopped up on PCP and alcohol, involved in a 110-mile-an-hour speed chase down I-210, trying to ditch police because, as he said, and I quote, "I was scared of going back to prison and I just thought this kind of problem would just go away." Conversely, the mentally retarded, micropenile officers who drug an unarmed suspect out of his car to pinata him on the side of the road to prove they are big men with authority. Fast forward to today. Because everybody with a pulse has a cell phone with a camera, it seems every day we hear about another white cop, black civilian casualty. Since George Floyd has become the newest convict of choice to be nominated to the 10 Toes Up Club, Rodney King is now an afterthought, rotting in the ground. And I believe Lawrence Powell and his fellow officers gather every March, reminisce about beating the king, and circle jerk each other off to a photo of Pam Grier in bondage gear on the pentagram on the floor. Being the hardcore cynic that I am, I love when sports and the race card get their out-of-control dog leashes tangled. Every August, you can circle your calendar to it. We have to listen to the Washington Redskin nickname nonsense. The irony about this non-story, 9 out of 10 Indians couldn't give a shit. Instead, it's rich ESPN white people who just want a platform to gripe about a topic that doesn't have a fucking thing to do with them. Now, I'm not Superman, but even I can see through there, see what a kind, caring person I am bullshit. Look, maggots, you're into this story for one reason. It's cheap, low-hanging pub. If you're so concerned about the flight of the Indians in this country, then you gather 15 or 20 of them from your particular city's bridges, overpasses, and shelters, and let them crash at your pad for about 6 months. Yeah, I didn't think so. So do me a favor, Colin Cowherd and the rest of the bleeding heart, Emmy-starved media parasites. When you scratch the billion-dollar check to purchase the Washington Redskins, then you can call them the Up With People fluffy bunny tails for all I care. And for the record, bring me the outraged people who can look me square in the eye and tell me that they're so traumatized that they need countless hours of counseling because of the Redskins' nickname and logo. Trust me, the Indians in this country have much bigger issues on their plate, like, I don't know, morbid obesity, raging alcoholism, poor education, and poverty. That should take precedence over what's painted on the 50-yard line at FedEx Field. And I just have to say props to you, Dan Snyder, for not cowering down to idiotic peer pressure year after year. Continue to stand firm with those middle fingers raised, because I'll go to the TP for you every time. And this is coming from a Dallas Cowboy fan. Who remembers former Los Angeles Clipper owner Donald Tokowitz, a.k.a. Donald Sterling? Jesus, this old kook took racism to an entirely new batshit crazy level. This lunatic got loose for years. That was until 2006 when the Department of Justice brought housing discrimination charges against the Don for allegedly refusing to rent to black people at his Los Angeles residential complexes. His refusal to rent logic went like this, quote, "That's because all the blacks in the building, they smell, they're not clean. It's because of all the Mexicans that just sit around and smoke all day and drink." Can you feel the warmth? My jaw hit the floor when the story broke about one of Sterling's black tenants, who was also blind. Refrigerator, dishwasher, and heater all broke down, and after her apartment was flooded because of a broken pipe, Mr. Compassion responded with, and I quote, "Is she one of those black people who stink? I'm not going to do anything, just evict the bitch." Can I get that quote silkscreened on a t-shirt? Such a delight, isn't he? Let's sit him next to Meemaw at the Thanksgiving table, huh? Here's what's wrong with this culture. Well, besides nutcake pea brains like Donald Sterling, the NBA made Sterling sell his team and in the process jumped his net worth to $2.9 billion. That's right, billion with a B. The only punishment Donald Sterling received for his many years of racial prejudices, he was banned from the NBA. He was fucking 80! I bet there were nights he didn't know a basketball from a Lance Armstrong ball. You want to punish this old kook? You should have ripped his team from him, sold it to the highest bidder, and taken the $1 billion and donated it to inner city kids who want to but can't afford to go to college. And as for Shelley, his wife of 60 years, feel free to give her Donald's newly changed bank account passwords just for putting up with this slimy shitbag for all those years. And as for sweet justice, make Don live in his own rundown apartment building with the stinky blacks. And for a twist, everyone has a key to his front door. While in his roach-infested, mildew-growing studio pad, make him Murphy bunk with that fugly, worthless, gold-digging, visor-sporting hooker, archivist that he was fucking and who sold him out to TMZ for a few bucks. My question has become, are we never going to take a stand against people like this? Ever? In my opinion, guys like this don't deserve to continue to fall forward. We have to start making examples of these germs. And just an observation, and since no one else said it or ever will say it, way to go LA Clippers players who took a stand after all the allegations went public. God forbid you do the right thing and take a stand before. But I guess the only color LA Clippers players cared about at the time was green, huh? If anyone out there thinks this was an isolated incident involving a sports owner, then you're more delusional than Honey Boo Boo's mother in a string bikini. Donald Sterling was just dumb enough not to recognize the running tape recorder sitting in the middle of the coffee table. That's good. With all of these race card issues that are out there, don't even get me started on the double standards that exist on a second-by-second basis. When a white person drops the dreaded N-word, that's a reason to go. But when stupid, untalented rappers do it 20 times in 4 minutes, it's considered art. My question, what exactly is the N-word we're talking about anyway? Is it nitwit? Maybe it's neighbor? Oh, wait, it's nincompoop, isn't it? With that said, what's with black people insisting everyone refer to them as African American? African American? So let me see if I'm crystal on this. You want to be associated with Africa. Africa, the poorest continent on the planet. Africa, where 1 in 3 people are undernourished. Where 600 million people live without electricity. That Africa? You mean the wasteland where 1 million people, mostly children under 5, die every year from malaria? Where 500 million people suffer from waterborne diseases because their drinking water is dirtier than a Greyhound bus station's bathroom floor? Africa, the tropic oasis that's known for the AIDS outbreak? Poor education, poor political leadership, and political violence and corruption? That Africa? Now, I'm nowhere near the smartest person, hell, even in this room, but there's no chance I'd want to be affiliated with that shitbag hellhole. So as I'm always here to help. From now on, we need to put a slug into the offensive racist term African American. From now on, may I suggest, if we must insist on labels, we use the term Negronian American. It's still politically correct, it's still colorfully correct, and inbred Confederate flag waving MAGA necks from the South can say it and still thinks it sounds racist. See? Everyone wins. Quick sticky note to all my new Negronian American friends watching. If you run across some white peckerhead, male or female, dressed or acting black, you have my permission to kick their pasty Elmer's glue, street-talking, rap-listening, saggy pants, hat cocked to the side of their head, confused asses. See? I'm on your side. You're welcome. As I wrap, just a quick rant that I need to get off my chest. Television advertisers and sponsors, feel free to mix in a minority when depicting criminals to move product or get your messages across, okay? Every time I see a commercial for home security or insurance, the criminals are always white.
Oh, no, the car! Told you somebody should have waited in the car.
Do this!
Everybody on the ground! This is a robbery! Don't move! Hey! Get down and stay down!
Choice.
Go. Talk to me.
We want an airplane, Mexican passports, and $100 million.
So you're in a bank and you want money?
You got an hour. Stop what you're doing. Give me all the money.
Aquí le diré! ¡Mentecato! ¡Arigato!
CPI security, identify yourself.
When the alarm is activated, the real-time...
So let's say someone tries to break in the back door.
Stop now! This is Deep Sentinel security. Leave her alone. Stop now!
The sound of home sweet home. Funny, statistics show guys in my profession avoid places with home security. Still, only 1 in 5 houses has it.
And it's changed the way we look at security.
Every public service announcement warning us not to drink and drive as the drivers are staggering, fumbling their keys, or blowing into the little tube, they're always fucking white!
There's no way to hide it. If you drive drunk, we will find you. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement and cracking down like never before.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Sir, have you been drinking this evening?
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Make no mistake, you will get caught and you will be arrested. Over the limit, under arrest.
I know I've watched, every time I watch Cops or The First 48, every criminal I see have always been white. I guess advertisers just ignore the stats that 40% of all prison inmates are black, 29% are white, 29% are Hispanic. It's okay. Some black people, Asians, and Mexicans commit crimes. Everyone's aware. Besides, all white people can't be robbing houses, stealing cars, stealing identities online, driving hammered, or ripping kiddie porn from the web. I mean, excluding Jared Fogle. There are some white people at home cooking meth, watching Dancing with the Stars, and practicing UFC in their backyard. Fucking honkies. In conclusion...
Jared Fogel's our neighbor.
Jared Fogle is our neighbor. He's about 2 minutes from here. In conclusion, don't get it twisted when I say that Kanye West, Cat Williams, Cardi B, and Nicki Minaj are no-talent, token, ass clown hacks. That's not a racist opinion. That's fact. Besides, you think your ethnic talent pool is run drier than Anthony Bourdain's liquor cabinet after a snowstorm? We have Caitlyn Jenner, Justin Bieber, and Miley Cyrus. So it appears we're all sinking in the Titanic lifeboat floating in the cold, dark ocean together. So I reiterate, let's stop overplaying the race card like a pocket pair of deuces. There are assholes in every race, gender, and religion. And for those of you assholes who are rioting and looting in George Floyd's honor thinking that's making a difference, all you're doing is just setting your race back. Burning down your city and jacking a case full of shoes from the now windowless Nike store won't stop racism. In fact, it exacerbates the situation. And as far as our fearless leader who's camped out in the White House bunker soiling his depends, he's on record for saying, and I quote,
I think I've done more for the black community than any other president. And
Jeez. Oh, God.
I saw that. I was like, are you kidding me?
Gee, I could not believe that quote. I could not believe that quote. Never mind the fact that you've hate tweeted Barack Obama more than a middle-aged K-word who can't let a past relationship go. Did you catch that reference? Mm-hmm. Good. I guess we should...
Yes.
Okay, good. I guess we should just ignore the feuds that Man Baby has had with Whoopi Goldberg, Don Lemon, Colin Kaepernick, Marshawn Lynch, and the entire NFL. Yes, Donald Trump is a modern-day Jesse Jacksoff. A true Malcolm X. XXL. A Louise Farrakhan. And I guess he's a real Martin Lucifer King. That's my take, but then again, what the hell do I know? All right, let me go ahead and take a quick break. We'll bring Robert Mateer in on this chipper topic and see what he's got to say about this. I will be right back.